you hopped from job to job and you learned how to live on a budget. With a $50 line of credit and a lot of frozen burritos. But you were living on your own terms. On a January night, you drove up to Pandapa's Pond with a boy. You snuck in when you shouldn't have. And you couldn't believe that you were capable of breaking the rules like that. You crunched across the snow, and you stood there watching the shooting stars. And he stood behind you and put his head on your shoulder so he could see the world from your perspective. But then, that's all that happened. So you drove him home. Saturdays and Wednesdays at the farmer's market. Excuse me. Boy, this market's crowded. Basil? This is basil? How does this marvelous thing relate to that dry, dusty, pale stuff that's in my mom's cabinet? Wow. And how you could stand and stare at those wooden bowls for hours. Run your hands across them. Run your hands across them and wish that one day you would be able to buy one. You went to work for the YMCA, and you went to your first celebration at the community garden. Out back behind the cemetery, and you thought, what a weird place to have a garden. Must be awful fertilized. But the kids and the dogs and the balloons and the music. And somewhere on that soft summer evening you thought, maybe this is what heaven is like. You started getting really into your job. And it took you to all sorts of new places in town. And you realized that there were children growing up in the shadow of this university who cannot read on grade level. And there were people living a mile away from your house in trailers with giant rotted holes in the floor. Standing on the corner of life with your friend Erica, also known as the intersection of College and Draper. Sitting at Bolo's and pouring out your heart or planning world domination over thousands of cups of coffee. Henderson Lawn concerts, the Huckleberry Trail, the Blacksburg Public Library, and no Walmart in Blacksburg. Foreign language films at the Lyric. And spanakopita is the fastest fast food in the world. If you get it from Souvlaki and tell them to throw it in a bag cold, I'll heat it up later. Thank you. After 5 years, you decided you'd done all the good you could do and given all you could give through the Y. So you decided to take a giant leap and leave and go back and get your master's. You were so excited to be a student again. But secretly, you were really scared you couldn't do it. And desperately, you were afraid you would be made to go to football games. 3 years later, on the night of Sunday, April 15th, 2007, you wrapped up your final project on campus. And you were just so proud. You were done. Nothing left to do but write the final report. You walked through Squires, and it was buzzing with the strangest sort of energy. And you were buzzing with that energy too. And so you took off running like you haven't run run since you were a child. You ran all the way to your car. Felt like you could run to Floyd if you wanted to. And you don't know exactly what you're running away from or toward, but sometimes since then, you've wished that you kept on running. Remember, on that April morning, it snowed. So you didn't go hiking up the Cascades to celebrate the completion of your final project. You went to Gillies with Megan and had a 122 special. And it was there that the world came to a complete and utter stop. Remember when "it's good to see you" didn't mean "I'm glad you're alive"? Remember when you didn't walk into a place and think, how quickly can I get out of here? Remember when a siren didn't make you want to crawl out of your own skin? Remember when you felt like you were the only one who was having a bad day? Remember when you stood on the porch because someone rang the bells at church 32 times and you couldn't cry because the sky was too beautiful? Remember when leaving our little town felt like the right thing to do? Remember when our little town felt like our little secret? Remember when you knew exactly what to do the next day? Because you had a to-do list, and it didn't include cry, pray, call your mom 3 times, and freeze up while crossing Main Street. Remember who? Remember what? When? Remember when? Remember.